Do you want early access? Do you want uncut reactions? If so, then check out our Patreon. Link in the description down below. And if I may quote a very, very, very famous line, this stuff just got real.
It's been real for a minute.
Yeah, well, yeah, who am I kidding? I mean, it's been real since episode 1. And here we are in episode 3, and they're pretty much going Steve McQueen on this thing and are planning the Great Escape. Although, I worry what's on the other side of that gigantic concrete wall. Because if there are monsters on the other side of that wall, sheesh.
This reminds me of a series that I watched a good bit of, but never got all the way through. But I can't remember the name of it now. I think it was a Hulu original. But it was about this dude that went to this town to, like, investigate. And I think, like, his car crashed or something, but he woke up in the hospital there.
Cure for Wellness.
That's a movie.
Yeah.
No, it's a series.
Oh.
No, it's not anywhere close to the same thing. He woke up in the hospital there, and coming to find out there were cameras and shit in the town around town, and he was like trying to figure out what the hell was going on, and he tried to leave, and they were saying like, I can't remember what it was, like that people told him not to leave or something, or he tried to leave and the road was out, but he ended up like going through the woods or something, like, and found out there was a giant fucking wall. And he was really confused, like, you know, where this wall come from. He was trying to contact the outside, like the year had changed, almost like he had time traveled. And then I don't really want to spoil the major twist because it's a major twist, but like outside the wall, like I think it was like a deal where like he went forward in time somehow or something, like he was in a coma for a while or some shit, but like outside of the wall there was something very unexpected, like, and it's kind of a fucking crazy series. Like, it does not go where you expect it to at all. Like kind
of like how this one's doing with us in some ways.
Yeah, sort of, but it just reminds me of that because of the wall. I'm just like
Well, this wall that we're seeing here is quite intimidating.
I wish I could remember the name of that show.
It's sheared, like ultra, like sheared, which is like super smooth. And to quote Anthony Fantana, super thick.
Wayward Pines, that's it.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah.
I thought, well, the opening that you were giving me sounded a lot like The Cure for Wellness.
Nah, Cure for Wellness was pretty good, but it's not the same at all. Because he was in an asylum, I think, or something like that.
Well, he went up there to investigate it.
Yeah.
And then he crashed. Then
they
were
a
like...
lot of a different... It's a lot different setting, too. So I remember that, like he crashed and, like, he had a cast on and stuff because they, like, messed up his leg in the crash or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a pretty intense movie, actually. And very fucked up sequences, too. Like,
yeah.
Got real fucking weird.
That's the way it goes.
Mm-hmm.
But Promised Neverland, so far some of the stuff in this is pretty terrifying, and the kids are having to pretty much put on faces and pretend that everything's good, everything's happy, hunky dory, peachy keen, and very slowly I think the adults are catching on.
Yeah.
At least the mother is. I mean, I guess that's why they brought in like the second caretaker.
Something I'm wondering is
because this caretaker looks like a bad mamma jamma.
If the mother and the new caretaker are actually humans, or if they're like more of the creatures disguised as humans.
I don't know. I really don't know. I guess we'll have to see. I mean, let's get this up on screen, and let's have a watch. Shit. Well, Emma...
She suddenly felt like she couldn't trust anybody in her whole family.
Well, yeah, paranoia always does set in because... Well... There was something that happened in several cases throughout history where persecuted groups were effectively betrayed or, for instance, the one I can think of the most significant, especially nowadays, would be the Holocaust. 6 million people died in that. There's that being said, but a lot of people don't know that or don't talk about this. Within the Jewish community, there were people who effectively
sold out
groups of people to the Nazis so that they could be safe.
Mm-hmm.
And that happens in every major quote unquote cleansing that happened in Rwanda. I mean, it happened in it happened during the Armenian genocide. There's so many examples of it happening throughout history because self-preservation instincts go into effect. And when that happens, it doesn't matter if, the best laid plans are out there and everything. You always are seeking to make yourself live. That's the number one thing that always... That's the one thing that scares me about if I was in a life or death situation. I don't know if I could 100% trust everybody. I mean, and I don't know if I could trust myself because I've never been in that dire of a situation before where I've had to compartmentalize and think about what I have to do or what. There's just so many things that could effectively make a person flip. And when you think that you're all alone, when you think that, all odds are against you, then why fight? It's the same thing the same problem that Ray has in this. Ray is, as, Sister Claude pointed out, he's too quick to give up. Because when the best laid plans don't work out, he's often the first to throw up his hands and just be like, screw it. That's his inner cynicism and nihilism kicking in.
You know what I thought about something with this show?
What's that?
Whereas, normally in shows, when you have characters like this introduced and their protagonists and everything, you expect them to, at some point, succeed and everything. But being in the genre of horror, we don't always 100% know for sure that the protagonists will actually succeed. We don't know anything about this show or how dark it's going to go because it already went pretty dark in the first episode with killing the cutest kid in the cast, pretty much.
6-year-old kid.
Yeah. She was fucking adorable. She had the little bunny and stuff, and they killed her, first episode. I kind of don't know if main characters have any plot armor in this.
I don't either. And that's why I'm saying I would not be surprised if one or more of the main three go out.
Yeah, I almost wonder if this is going to get super dark and they don't succeed at all.
Well, you see...
Or the last person gets out by themselves after everyone else is killed, basically, and finds out that it's a hopeless effort, basically. Just something super dark.
Yeah.
That would be crazy.
And that's one direction that this show could definitely go. I don't know if it will, but...
I feel like horror gets kind of a bad rap from a lot of people who aren't really super into it because it sometimes does stuff, and people like satisfaction from when they watch stuff. They're like, what was the point of watching it? Everyone died. And it's because it was an interesting concept. It was very scary to think about. It was intense to watch, and the dark ending was something unexpected. It's not the same crap you get fed all over the place.
That's just there is one thing I will say. The darker endings are the ones that people remember.
Yeah, definitely.
Because It's just like Don't Look Now. Don't Look Now. There was a.
Never saw that one. Don't spoil the end, please.
Oh shit. Okay. How about Invasion of the Body Snatchers?
The Mist.
The Mist is a good one. Yes. But I'm talking about
even people who hated the ending still talk about it. They're like,
exactly.
"Fuck that ending!"
And then of course
I'm like, I fucking love that ending. That's the darkest fucking ending ever. Like,
yeah, even Stephen King was just
Christ.
like, "Yeah, they outdid me."
Yeah.
So
when even Stephen King's like, "I wish I'd thought of that." Like, you did something right.
Well, and then of course there's also the there's also the scene in Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Have you ever seen Invasion of the Body Snatchers?
I can't remember because I get it mixed up with other such sci-fi films.
Well, there was a remake of it in the 2000s.
I definitely haven't seen the remake
with Daniel Craig and Nicole Kidman.
Mm-hmm.
And
was it worth watching?
The remake is okay. It's got some interesting stuff in it, but the original has one of like the darkest turns I've ever like paid
just
witness
in case. I hate to be.
Yeah, don't. Okay, I won't. Okay,
don't spoil that either.
But okay, 7.
At least the audience knows stuff. Yeah, 7's pretty
7
dark. Like,
has a really dark ending, and actually,
it's not as dark as other stuff I've seen. But yeah,
but no, it's one that sticks out because here's the thing: the studio. You talked about.
It's probably less dark by the fact that it got turned into a meme too. So I mean.
Well, yeah, the what's in the box?
What's in the box?
But the truth is. That ending is, a lot of people don't know this. The studio hated it. The studio hated it and demanded that they change it.
Thought of an idea actually.
What's that?
And I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to like spoil it for everybody. Like, but I have an idea for the video we made earlier. I don't know if anybody's already done it, but I think it would be funny.
Okay. Well, that's fair. We can talk about it after we're done recording this. But the studio hated it, and the director was just like, I don't want to change it. To me, this is perfect. And the studio was just like, either you change it, or we're not going to release it. To which, at that point, the director was then joined by the producer. It was joined by the lead actors, Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt, and several other cast members. And they said, if you do not release this film with the ending that the director wants, we're walking. And we will never promote this film. And you will not make any money back on it. To which the studio said, fine, whatever. But when it doesn't make any money, don't come crying back to us. Movie is very successful. It's the most successful horror film of that year. Made over $100 million in the U.S. alone.
Wait, which one are you talking about again?
7.
7.
Yeah.
It's also like a cult classic at this point. So.
Well, yeah, and to me, it's like one of my favorite examples. It's like a Hitchcock film right at the turn of the 21st century.
That's just the thing is like producers need to realize that
studio heads. No, there's some producers who are cool.
Well, yeah, producers and studio heads both, because sometimes it's producers too.
Yeah, sometimes.
You know, like studio heads and everybody need to realize that unless they are personally trained in all of the elements to making the film and have done all of it before and had success in all of it before, they need to shut the fuck up and let the people who are trained to do the job do the job.
Yeah.
And they need to stop trying to tell people how to do shit and just let it fucking happen, because they will make more money almost 100% of the time, it looks like, by just shutting the fuck up and letting them do their job.
Agreed.
Because as far as it seems trend-wise, studio heads seem to not know what the fuck they're doing. They seem to be out of touch with audiences, whereas like directors, writers, and people who actually like have the experience on making the stuff seem to be more in touch with the audience and what people want to see and what people will pay money to see.
Well, try telling that to the studio heads who think, oh, I've got all the money, therefore I know what's best.
Yeah, it's like, just because you're paying for it to be made doesn't mean you know what the fuck it should be.
And I wish studio heads understood this better. There's some studio heads out there who are pretty cool. I mean, from what I understand, the H brothers, they're actually pretty good. And also Montevilla Pictures, they know to stay the hell out of the way, and their films are really good. But again,
it's like if someone like Tarantino makes a studio, right, and he becomes the studio head of that studio, and then he has people working under him, and he wants to offer advice on how to change stuff,
I don't think he will.
It's more understandable because he kind of has done it before and knows some shit about it.
Well, yeah, and Tarantino, he's an experience. Contrary to how you feel about him in his personal life, the man is a hell of a filmmaker.
But like him or like Guillermo del Toro or
dude, if Del Toro formed a studio,
I
would.
What's his
watch
face
everything.
that made Avatar?
Cameron.
Yeah, James Cameron. Yeah, like I'm bad at names. Sorry.
It's okay. I would actually like, you know what I would like?
Like if any of those big
I'd like the
filmmakers
Three Amigos
made
to
their
make a
own
movie
studios,
studio.
then I would understand more than being like, why don't you do this with it?
I'd love for all
Even
three.
so, I would almost be like, why don't you do this with it as a suggestion? But it's your film, so
Well, yeah.
If you have a different idea, we'll see how it goes.
I would trust someone like Del Toro
And it's
or
like
Cuarón.
The thing is you have the
Iñárritu.
money, so hire people you trust to do a good job, then let them do the job.
Yeah,
I
agree.
It's not like you're just going in blind and be like, why would I give them all this money and then not have any say in it? It's like you're saying it is who you pick to do it. Like, look at their previous work. Do you like what they do? Then let them do that.
Exactly.
Like,
I agree with that.
I just think it's kind of bullshit. Like the perspective they have on that kind of shit.
It is bullshit. But what are you gonna do, man?
Ass backwards.
It is. But well. Anyway, we're going to move on from this, ladies and gentlemen. This was Promised Neverland, Season 1, Episode 3, 181045. So, hopefully you all enjoyed this, and if you want to see more, you know what to do. Check out our Discord and our Patreon down below. And also, if you want to see more from us here on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell to stay notified, and we'll see you in the next one, everybody. Peace out.